Imagine the middle of the Atlantic, pitch black, freezing water. Your boat goes down. You pull the cord on your $200 auto-inflating life vest, and nothing happens. Salt water jammed the fragile sensor. The modern outdoor industry wants you to trust your life to microchips, Bluetooth apps, and cheap plastic. They are selling you a death sentence. But the men who fought the greatest naval wars in history knew a dark truth. The ocean does not forgive. Welcome back to The Den. I am Outlast Wolf. Today, we are unearthing the forgotten protocols of deep water survival. We are opening the vault on 7 indestructible tools carried by Navy veterans. Tools the modern industry deliberately buried because they simply refuse to break. Pay close attention, because the final item on this list is a piece of gear that has saved more lives than any modern gadget combined. Let's drop anchor. Item number 1, the flotation protocol. Modern inflatable vests rely on chemical reactions and fragile sensors. If a sharp piece of debris punctures that thin nylon, you are going straight to the bottom. Navy veterans carried the World War II kapok life jacket. Forged from heavy cotton canvas and packed with natural kapok plant fibers. Kapok is a biological anomaly that repels water and supports 30 times its own weight. You are thrown overboard into a field of jagged floating wreckage. A sharp piece of metal slices into your kapok jacket. Instead of popping like a cheap balloon, the densely packed fibers just keep floating. You bleed, you freeze, but you do not sink. 0 moving parts, 0 points of failure. Item number 2, the core heater. Floating is only the first step. If the water doesn't drown you, the cold will. Synthetic windbreakers strip your body heat the second they get soaked. Submariners and deck sailors knew the truth, which is why they relied on the 100% heavy wool peacoat. Freezing rain and crashing waves pound the deck of your life raft. While modern synthetic jackets stick to the skin and accelerate hypothermia, the thick wool peacoat acts like a biological wetsuit. It retains up to 80% of its insulating properties even when completely submerged. It traps a layer of warm water against your body, keeping your heart pumping when others are freezing solid. Item number 3, the ocean beacon. You are warm and floating, but you are a microscopic speck in a massive, dark ocean. Modern survival lanyards use electronic strobes, but what happens when salt water fries the circuit? Navy pilots carried the World War II sea dye marker. You are stranded in a life raft. A search plane is miles above, scanning a terrifying expanse of gray water. You drop the canvas marker into the ocean. Instantly, it bleeds out a massive, glowing, fluorescent green slick across the surface. It creates a target so large and blindingly bright it can be seen from the clouds. The industry phased it out because you cannot charge a premium for colored powder. Item number 4, the true north. To survive the ocean, you must navigate it. Today, sailors trust digital screens that black out from a single drop of water or an EMP strike. Navy veterans trusted iron and earth. They carried the solid brass lensatic compass. A massive rogue storm knocks out your boat's electrical grid. The screens go dark. Panic sets in. You pull out your heavy brass compass. It doesn't need to boot up. It doesn't need a satellite signal. The magnetized needle aligns perfectly with the planet's magnetic field, guiding you through the black water exactly as it guided the Pacific Fleet in 1945. Item number 5, the brute force blade. Navigation gets you moving, but survival requires work. The modern spring-assisted tactical knife is a liability. Salt and sand will jam those tiny bearings in seconds. The veterans carried the Navy rigging knife with marlin spike. Your rigging is tangled in a violent storm. The freezing rope is swollen with salt water and pulled tight as steel. A normal knife blade will snap trying to open it. You flip out the thick steel marlin spike, wedge it deep into the rock-hard knot, and shatter the tension, saving the mast before the ship capsizes. It is a tool built for brute force, not display cases. Item number 6, the deep, dark light. When the sun drops, the ocean becomes a void. Modern waterproof lights are forged from hard plastic. Under freezing temperatures and heavy pressure, that plastic becomes brittle glass.
The veteran carried the heavy brass deck flashlight. You are repairing a leak in the lower deck. The ship violently shifts, and your flashlight bangs hard against a steel bulkhead. A modern plastic light shatters. The brass deck light takes the impact, shakes it off, and keeps cutting a bright beam through the dark water. Heavy, gasket sealed, and if a bulb blows, you unscrew it and replace it in the field. Item number 7, the genesis of fire. We have reached the final tool, the one piece of gear that brings the ultimate element of survival into the wettest environment on Earth. Butane lighters lose pressure in the cold, and their spark wheels jam when wet. The veterans carried the solid brass waterproof match safe. You finally wash ashore on a desolate, freezing coastline. You are shivering uncontrollably. Hypothermia is minutes away. Your modern lighter is soaked and dead. You reach into your pocket, unscrew the heavy rubber-sealed brass safe, pull out a bone-dry strike-anywhere match, and ignite it on a rock. Fire is life, and this simple brass tube guaranteed it. The kapok jacket, the wool peacoat, the sea dye marker, the brass compass, the marlin spike, the deck flashlight, the brass match safe. The men who held the line in the darkest waters of the 20th century didn't survive because of lithium-ion batteries or delicate microchips. They survived because their gear was forged from heavy canvas, solid brass, and raw biological materials. The modern industry wants you dependent on fragile tech because it guarantees you will keep coming back to buy more. Stop trusting your life to gear that needs a charger. The junk of the modern world will get you killed. Equip your mind. Carry heavy iron. Hit subscribe to join the den. Stay unbreakable.